Alright guys, gals, welcome back to Step 1 Survival. I'm Staff Sergeant Badass. Today, I've got another unique knife. I believe this one is the Mulley Skinner. It's from Tops Knives, and they are 120% made in the US. That's 101%, I'm just messing with y'all. But they sponsor the channel, so I'd like for you to go check them out and purchase a knife from them. They make the best knives on the planet, and I got another one here to show off. Now, we don't know where we're going with this. To the great beyond. I don't know. It's every time I build one of these, it usually starts off with, you know, we don't do just the fold up sheath. It's just standard. We add things for survival. Could be zombies. I'm just kidding. We're not doing that today. This one's just strictly hunting and fishing. We're going to keep it simple, but it's going to be very unique. But that's why I said they're one-off knife sheaths, and we'll get started. I don't like doing the simple stuff. I like it to be complicated and ridiculous. And I like it when someone comments like, dude. So it's always fun. So right off the bat, it comes with a knife sheath. So if you purchase this one, it's going to come with a knife sheath. Comes with a nice little survival whistle. It's got nice little Chicago screws in the back. You can change this out to whatever you want. I love this knife. I absolutely love this knife. I get the packaging off. Those rubber bands, they get pretty tight. Look at that thing. All right. Check that out. Now that is cool. And I've been featuring a lot of collabs. See, Tops Knives have been working with a lot of folks lately, and they are getting big as all get out. But they put a lot of pride into their work. Everything is handmade. And if you don't believe me, go check out their Instagram page. That's another place you can witness. They actually video them hand making every one of these knives. Always got to get my handy dandy ruler. I always like to make sure. When you want a skinner, when you want a skinning knife, you want something that's got this. This is the swoop, man. You guys, those of you that ever skinned an animal before, you know what I'm talking about. It's just, you know, you get in there, you want something that your fingers can go in the grooves. You want something like this jip in here. You want something that you can swing it when you cut. You're holding one piece, cutting the next. You want to bring that finger. Sometimes I bring my finger all the way in there. It's like, and sometimes we rake, and then we do a lot of stuff that you don't do in the kitchen. Some stuff, it's not like kitchen knife stuff. And you don't want a thick blade to do that type of work. This is the standard right here. This is where you want to be. But this is the design that everybody wants, and me, for skinning. So I do have other cutteries that I use in the process. This is one of the processes that gets used, but when you skin an animal, depending on the various sizes, then you have to bump up. Like you'll use this for certain stages, and then you might have to switch over to something a little fatter and shorter. So sometimes I have to do that. So, but I do use this size generally. So you're looking at it's a 4.5 for your cutting edge, and then down here, let's see, we're about 4.25 for your grip. But I mean, I think that varies. I think generally you would say 4 for, but you know what I mean. But it's always good to get an idea, you know, in front of your face, you know, before you go purchasing something. It's a little over an inch in depth. That's a good design. And there's another design that they make. I don't know the name of that one offhand, but I know I have it around here somewhere. I wasn't thinking about bringing multiple to the table when I do these, but they do make others that have that full swoosh that a lot of people talk about, and I do carry one of those around. But But this can be used for multiple uses: hunting, fishing, all that stuff. You got to clean a fish, you can use this guy too. It's just a good, well-rounded hunting and fishing blade. So now I want to make something for it that's related to hunting and fishing. So it's kind of what I want to keep the theme with. I don't think I'm going to make a hybrid today. I was considering it. I might still do that since it is just a black. This is just a black sheath. It wouldn't be a problem, and you can always, when you wet your leather, when you're doing when you want to do a hybrid, I might not do a hybrid. It just takes me a few minutes to figure it out. But because you've got this extra lip here, and that would come in handy for mounting something, right? So utilizing this sheath and keeping it in that width would be perfect for this project. Now, when you wet your leather, you can mold it literally around every aspect of this, and it would look exactly the same if you went with 3 ounce, 4 ounce type stuff, something thinner. And if it's not thin enough, you can take a blade. Sometimes I don't show everything, but you can take a flat blade and you can kind of graze off some of that leather's thickness if it's in a spot that it won't get in there good. So keep that in mind. But make something for this. Take this off, and I'm gonna do. If I use anything, it's just gonna be this. I'll take this off, and I'm gonna design a removable belt clip. A loop style, just like traditional. You would look at it and hold it in your hand and you go, well, it's a traditional knife sheath. But then when you flip it over, you'll see it's got snaps here. Take the snaps, boom, slip it on your belt, snap it back on, boom. You need to take it off. You don't have to take off your belt. You just unsnap, take the knife off. You know what I mean? See, even in this case, you would still have to put it on your belt and take it off. See, I'm making this style, but I'm doing it with snaps. That's so you can take it off when you need to take it off, and then put it back on when you need to put it back on. I know every time I build one of these, I always talk about all the stuff that goes into them. I have stuff for all kinds of projects. Survival cards. I wouldn't use anything this big, but it's just a kit that's just folded up here. It's a sliver of duct tape in there, and got your aqua tabs, little fishing kit, sewing kit, commando saw. It's very neat for a little kid. It's got a transpiration bag. It's got a bag for carrying water too. You got different types of ferrocenium rods like this. This is for sparking. I've always been in arguments with people about, well, I just carry a lighter with me. Well, the thing about that, lighters don't work in cold climates, so you have disadvantages there. The butane won't work, and in some cases where the flint, or we're talking about an old school Zippo, well, once the flint's gone, it's gone, and you got to pack a lot of flints, and they just don't last as long as this. It lasts a lot longer. That's the reason why it's not a bad thing to pack one of these and still pack your Zippo, but have a backup. Redundancy. You got to have more options. Don't just pack that one thing thinking that's going to keep you alive. Always just, even if you're building a knife for just fishing and hunting and whatever, it's always good to incorporate that. That looks like a good ferro rod. I don't think that'll fit in this. I came up with this idea for a little small tin. I don't think that fits in there. Yeah, it does. There we go. Nice ferro rod right there. And that'll work perfect for this. I don't have to have anything bulky. I wanted to keep this simple like that. I want it to be leather in style, and I want it to be a hybrid. That's for another project. Everybody's eyeballing it. That's for another project I've got building. See, there's a lot of these different kits, but they just don't fit the situation. These require Eltwoods tins. So I set a lot of these out just to look at them and get ideas. But what does fit, I can easily, there's fishing hooks. Look at that. And now, there's a bunch of little fishing hooks in there. I can go get some more bigger ones if I needed them. They'll fit in there. And these are for snares. Now, inside the paracord, in the survival paracord, you've got fire cord, you've got Kevlar cord. You've got a fishing line. There's fishing line in here. There's a lot of stuff inside this, and you also get the wire. And the wire, you take it and you run it. Let's get a bigger one of those so you can see it better. The wire, you take one of these, it looks like a little dog tag. Run the wire through, and you've got this loop, and you can tie this up into here because it's got more wire holes. And then have your one, tie it off, and find the trail where little critters are running in and out in these areas where it's like you can see mostly dirt. Everything else is high up and grown up and overgrown, but you can see this nice little trail. This, and let's get a piece of wire. Let's use our commando code. So it would look something like this. That would be a snare. You bring it down a little bit, right about there or something. This would be attached somewhere, and the critter still passes through here every day. But this time when the critter passes through, depending on the size of game you're hunting, if you don't want to catch a mouse, it'll run right through it. But if you want to catch a coyote, it'll run right in there and snag it. And you'll snag it because when it runs, it pulls tight. And then, before you know it, it can't escape. It's trapped there. And it's stuck there and spinning around, mad, barking, yipping, howling. And you'll hear it, and you'll go get it, and then you'll have dinner. So, that's why, for those of you asking, that's why I carry these. I have intentions for them. But I don't need these big ones. These are just a little, you know, I can use the smaller ones. They still do the same trick. Same concept. Less room. Same size hole. It doesn't matter. Broadhead. There's your broadhead. You can make yourself a bow. Got paracord. You got some good hard stuff. You can make a paracord bow. Well, these things like this turns into a hatchet and a broadhead. I did a video on this. There is actual video on the channel about this thing. It turns into a broadhead and everything else. It's a cool item. It's just the item it was used for had better days because it's been a long time since I talked about that. Sill locks. You can clog up a gaping hole if you get sliced. It's quick clot. They make micro packs of quick clot. People don't know that, but you could put that in there. Why would you do that though? That's too much. Aqua tabs, yes. Put some aqua tabs in there. So I mean, you need some fire. You make some fire. You want to use. This is a magnesium, straight magnesium capsule. Pull it open. It'll burn through a 2x4. I tell everybody that all the time. They don't make those anymore. You got to make them yourselves. But you can order you can go online, get the pills, cases by themselves, make your own, take your own brick of magnesium, drill and crush and make your own powder. So you can do that stuff yourself. This would be a good option. Some good old beeswax in there. A good little fishing kit would work, but why bother? I've already got hooks. I'm going to have some cordage in here. And I've got a place for my ferro rod. That. See, I've already got it pretty stacked. So I could easily dig into one of these old fishing kits or one of these old fishing kits. You know, I could easily dig in here, but it wouldn't make any sense. Just get what you need, you know. Might pack a couple of these just cause. Might have a late night where I'm like, you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're like, I'll just use a match today. So you can pack a couple of matches and make your life a little bit easier. Doesn't take up that much room. See, look at that. I've got quite a bit of stuff in there already. Bring a water bottle, you know what I mean? That tape might even fit in there if I wanted to. See what I mean? But anyways, build the kit to your specifications. I'm making a little bitty kit to go on this thing, and I've just got to tighten everything up. And see, like getting it wet, it's just as simple as dyeing it. Once you dye it, it becomes pretty movable. And that's a complete replica. Now I've got some trimming to do and some artwork. And I've got my pouch over here tacked down in my little wood vise. I do this every now and then where it's a weird design. I don't have anything that small, so I had to come up with something. So it's making a nice little case. And when it's done, it's going to look primo. And this is going to look really nice. I'm going to add some little artwork probably. And I got this extra tongue piece here. I just kept it on there because I'm just going to cut all that out. And that's just going to become the backstrap. It's real simple. You use your excess to build the rest of it so you don't waste anything. But anyways, it's turning out really good. It just needs to set and dry, so I'm going to leave it there. I had to wear my gloves today. I'm not that bad. Only got like a little bit here and here. I don't even know where those two came from, but I was wearing the gloves again. Like I was saying, you know, you got your mold. Just open it back up. Trim off the excess. Use your excess for this and this. And it's all stitched in there. Now it's time to fold it and get it folded up. And then I gotta do my stitch holes to make it one piece. That looks pretty good. And so, you know, with the way it's designed, the pouch, you know, I got a quick pull for that. I wrap it around the Altoids tin so that I can pull it out easier until it breaks in, and eventually it'll just fall right out. Did a half-sided braid through here. There is black duct tape in here, a nice little size roll of it. I take like a mini roll, and I run the paracord up through it, and then I wrap this so that way if I need, when I undo this, then I can access the duct tape if I need it. Pace counter, and don't need a pace counter on something like this, but I did it anyways because, you know, that's what I do. Got a snap in the back. You just pull your blade out. Comes out nice and easy, and goes right back in just like it's supposed to. Got my nice snap back there. I need to put a lanyard on this. I haven't done that yet. But there it is. Nice and easy. Very lightweight. It's got all the little bitty survival gear you might need in a pinch to get you out of a jam. And that's what it's all about. You know. And if you don't want this on here, it's not permanent. So some of the things, like, you know, you just unsnap and then this comes right out. If you don't want the sheath on there, say you don't want to do without leather that day, slide the sheath right off and then put your hanger back on. See, it all still works. So there's no damage to anything, and it's a hybrid, and nobody's going to know it's a hybrid because it just looks like a leather sheath. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some ideas for a project, and God bless. Take care. Stay sane. Please share the video.